Hello Year 6. So, today's maths lesson. Well, yesterday's maths lesson we were looking at finding fractions of amounts. Today we are moving on from that and using a lot of similar skills to find percentages of amounts. So, I'm going to share my screen with you and show you some stuff on there. Then I'll show you on paper how I'd do it. And then hopefully you'll have a pretty good idea about how to do today's work. Okay, so here we go to share screen. Hello, so today we are looking at finding percentages of amounts. So let's look and compare this to what we were doing yesterday. Now if I said that this is filled in and it is all, let's try that. Okay, I've highlighted this whole thing off. It is worth 100%. We're all happy with that, okay, because that is one whole and it is worth 100%. Hopefully you can see why that works. Now, this second one, if I was to split it in half perfectly, close to perfectly, not too bad, and I coloured in just this little bit, hopefully you would agree with me that we have shaded in 1/2. Now, if a full one is worth 100%, then half of that, you can hopefully tell me, is worth 50%. And then let's move down and look at this last one. Let's say that I split this into 4. And I colour in this first bit. You'll hopefully agree with me that I've shaded in 1 out of 4, and we call that a quarter. Well, if I've split that 100% into 4, then you'll hopefully agree with me that I've got 25%. Now we can use this knowledge to help us find percentages of problems. So on this screen, I've written down some things that you just need to know. Okay, you need to know that half is 50%. And like yesterday, if we had to find a half of something, we would divide it by 2. Okay, if I'm trying to find a quarter of something, which is 25%, I'm going to divide it by 4. So to find 25%, I divide by 4. And over here, to find 10%, because 10% is the same as a tenth, I'm going to divide by 10. Don't instantly think, here's something that everyone always does. They think, oh, well, to find 10%, I divide by 10. So if I'm finding 30%, I divide by 30. No! Doesn't work. Okay, it only works for the 10% one. So don't think about that. For over here, we're finding 50%. We don't divide by 50, do we? We divide by 2. It only is the same on this one. None others. No others. Let's speak proper English, shall we? And then finally, 1/100th is I'm splitting something into 100 parts, which is 1%. So to do that, I'm divided by 100. These facts you need to know. Okay, if you don't know these facts, you will find today's lesson difficult. So if you need to write those down somewhere, go for it. If you need to pause this video right now and write those down on a piece of paper, do it. But you need to know these things, okay? Now the rest of the stuff is going to be easier for me to show you with a pencil and a pen. So I'm going to fade out so that you can do that. Okay, so when you've given a question, you need to remember the facts. Now, hopefully the facts are somewhere on this screen if I've been fancy enough. Maybe I'll put them like here? We'll see. I don't know. But they're going to appear and you need those on permanently. So let's say we've got a question where we need to find something like 50%. These are kind of ready questions of 36. So I need to find 50%. Now I'm going to think, is 50% one of the key facts that I need to know? And it is. It's the same as a half. So to find that, I know that 36, to find a half, I divide it by 2. And then you can do that if you need to half 30 to get 15 and that, and then put them together. I get my answer of 18. Okay, similarly, if I have something like 25% of 28, is 25% one of my key facts? It is, because it's the same as a quarter, so I'm dividing it by 4. So 25% of 28 is going to be 28. Divided by 4, using our number facts, we'll hopefully get the answer of 7. Okay, that's the kind of questions that you're going to have in ready. Now, steady needs us to use number facts. So we might have something like 30% of something like 120. Now, 30% is not one of my number facts, okay? It's not one of the facts that I know just down here somewhere. So what I need to do is, what facts have I got and how can I make that 30%? Well, I can't find 30%, but I can find 10%. How do I find 10% of that number? I divide it by 10. So 10% is 12. Now, if 10% is 12, how can I work out what 30% is? Well, how have I gone from 10% to 30%? I times it by 3. So wild guess is what I need to do over here. I times it by 3. So 12 times 3 is 36. So my answer to that question is 36. We might have stuff where we have to find something like 60% of 150. Now, 60% is not one of my key facts. So I need to look at my key facts and see, can I work out something that's going to help me do that? Well, yeah, I can, because 50% is a key fact. How do I find 50% of something? I half it. Well, half of 100 is 50, half of that is 25, so 50% is 75. I've got 10% left to find. Can I find 10%? Because 50 on my 10 is going to get me to 60%. Well, 10% is that divided by 10, so that's going to be 15. So that means that 60% is 50% add 10%, which is 75 add 15, so it's going to be 90. Hopefully that's making sense to us. That kind of question is more like what we're doing on Steady today. And then, if we're going for stuff like Go, we might have questions like 43% of 2,600, we'll say. Okay, so numbers get quite big and also the percentages get a bit more awkward. So 43% is definitely not one of the facts that I know. So what am I going to work it out? Well, I could work out what 10% is, and then I could times that by 4, and I could work out what 1% is, and then times it by 3. So 10% is dividing that by 10, which is 260. 1% is dividing that by 100, which is going to be 26. So, and you're going to need more space for this, and that's absolutely fine. So 30% is going to be equal to 260 times by 3. Well, 200 times by 3 is going to be 600. 60 times by 3 is going to be 180. If you need to write those down, do it. So 600 add 180. So 30% is going to be 780. Then, I know that 1% is 26. I'm trying to find 3%. So 3% is going to be that 26 times by 3. Well, 20 times 3 is 60. 6 times 3 is 18, put them together, 78. And then that will tell me, oh, who can spot the mistake that I've made? Anybody? I can't hear. You are right. I found 30%. I'm trying to find 43%. So I need another 10% on there, don't I? So 10% is that divided by 10, so it's 260. And now, once I've got my 30%, my 10% and my 3%, ideally I should have times that by 4 and I've got there quicker. So I've got 8 ones, 15, 21 tens, and then 700s, so 200s, 900s plus that one. 1,118. And I think that gives me the right answer. And it's just less than half of that, which 43% would be. So we've got ready questions where we're using the key facts, steady questions where we're using the key facts and making a few changes, go questions where we're using the key facts and we're going to have to do quite a bit of working out with some big numbers. Okay, I'm going to take you back to the sky. And that is maths for today. So as always, I've gone through the video quite quickly, so feel free to pause it, read it again, watch it again even. Make sure that you look carefully, make sure you take your time with them and try and challenge yourself. Yesterday in maths, there was quite a lot of people choosing for either ready or steady when I think they could have done steady or go. So lots of people who were capable of steady going for ready, people who I think could have a good go at go, just going for steady. Challenge yourself. If you want a bit of a warm-up and you think steady is a good warm-up, then do steady, but then try go. Or you might try ready, do ready, and then try steady.
but push yourself year 6. We only learn when we push ourselves. When you were learning to walk, you fell a lot first. Okay? Take risks and make sure you fall a few times. All right, I will see you in the next video, whichever one that is. See you in a bit, year 6.